Am I good to? Oh, am I good to talk?
Do we want to just start?
Yeah, I guess.
Welcome back to Blank Explain to You. I'm Wes. This is Drew. We're gonna go. Go.
Here's an issue with our podcast. I'm
Okay.
gonna start a criticism board.
You should
We'll show up
suggestion
here.
box.
It's 10 a.m. on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll show up here and say we have no idea what a topic is. I walk in the door. It's what's our topic? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes later of talking, hanging out, whatever. Our topic should be blank. Okay, sounds good. Our topic. I said let's talk about music, and you're like, okay, go. Here we are. 14 seconds later. What does that mean? I have no idea. We said music.
Bro,
Okay.
it works.
That's it.
We're gonna talk about music today, everybody.
We're going to figure it out. We're going to talk about something.
You
But
will. You will get a podcast regardless. Well, the issue is we sit for 30 minutes talking about nothing, and we could just be recording.
We could have. Absolutely. Like,
Because we're talking
talk
about buying
about
a
Wes's new address. We're going to live.
no. Whoa. We're talking like buying a house and stuff like that, and it's just like, why don't
Yeah.
we just do this?
Sure.
But on
Just talk.
how to buy a house.
How to buy a house.
You need a loan, and you buy it. There you go.
Do you want an FHA or a VA or a conventional loan?
Conventional loan means you have to put 20% down.
Not always.
Not always, though.
Chase offers a Chase, by the way, sponsor us. Offers a conventional loan with 3.5% down for a
Yeesh.
first-time home buyer.
Actually,
Go
I'm-
apply.
wait,
Go
for
apply.
real.
3.5, so you don't have to do the FHA.
Wait, 3.5 of 150. What's that? Just
Like
150.
5.
Dude. All I'm saying,
You
I'm gonna
put
actually do that.
$5
For real.
grand down. Buy that house. In. um,
We have to see a new location pretty soon.
yeah, interest rate was. I mean, the same. You don't like.
What is interest? So
Do you know
actually,
what the FHAs
I
are?
do have I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So interest rates, everybody says, oh, interest rates are going up, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I know what an interest rate is,
Yeah.
but why? Like, how does the government have any control over? Like, why can't my bank say we're gonna only offer 1%? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't they do that?
No.
But why not?
Because it increases inflation and spending.
Yeah.
So interest rates are counterbalanced to to raise the cost of a dollar, essentially. Because if you can borrow money at $0 with no interest, I could borrow $100,000 and just do whatever I want and then pay back $100,000 in 100 years. It's not the same, right? If I borrowed $10 in 1992 and there was no interest on it, it would be half of what it is today, right?
Yeah.
Because of inflation, that interest rate costs money to have money now to balance that later.
But isn't it the bank's responsibility to worry about?
No.
Because when they be like, well, I don't want to give this guy money,
Who's
and then
the
it's,
one printing the money?
but who's the
to
one? But
cause inflation.
But is the government giving the banks money? No, right? It's us giving the banks. So shouldn't they be like, hey,
So the banks could lose money, yes. But the government doesn't technically monitor their banks' interest rates.
yeah,
They monitor the Federal Reserve, what the banks can borrow at, and the banks match what they can borrow at. So if the bank can borrow at 4%, they're going to charge you 7%, so they earn money.
yeah,
But they won't offer you 4% because they have to borrow at 4%.
right.
Our interest rate probably is close to that for like banks and commercial business to borrow is probably roughly 3 or 4.
Why do banks borrow money though?
Huh?
Why do banks even borrow money? Isn't the idea of a bank is that everybody puts the money in so that then everybody can, or not
Well, that
everybody,
would-
but then the thought is that we can then give out money to this person,
Sure.
and that's a loan.
That
and
would
give
be
it back,
banks in
whatever.
like 1820.
Right.
But then they started with CDOs, CDFs, FHAs, all the fun stuff. CDOs do, collateralized debt obligations. So they're allowed to do fancy things like if I loan you $100,000 to buy a house and you're going to pay it off in 20 years, I can sell that money that you owe me. I can sell you a piece of paper that says Wes will give you $100,000 to your wife, Kaylee.
Right.
You're going to pay Kaylee for 20 years because I don't want to wait. I'm going to lose 20 grand, but I get $80,000 today.
Yeah.
I don't wait 20 years for it, and there's no risk in me losing it now.
Right.
That's a CDO.
Right.
A CDF says we're going to ensure that if Wes defaults on his loan, we'll still pay Kaylee the money we owe her,
Yeah.
and we'll take the bullet on that. And that's what happened in 2008, a big part of it.
Yeah.
They would take the bullet on everybody. They're not checking your credit score
Yeah.
or anything, income, nothing. Said, here's a $250,000 house, even if you're homeless. When you default, I owe you $250,000.
Right.
Uh-oh. I just crashed.
Yeah.
It's a big reason why banks crash. So, yes, interest rates dictated by the government to make sure that banks don't borrow or lend for nothing, because things like that happen. People will overextend their spending capabilities. So, that debt to income ratio needs to be monitored. All that good
DTI.
stuff, so.
In case you guys were wondering. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, FHA, the VA.
VA's veteran stuff that you want.
Right, nobody worries about that. FHA, what is that? I mean, all these things I looked into last year, but I forget them all now. So
I looked into it like a month ago.
Yeah, there we go.
An FHA is a first-time home buyer's assistant loan. I believe is what FHA stands for. That's what it is. You have to be a first-time home buyer to get it.
Yeah.
And essentially what it says is we'll give you a lower interest rate or a down payment to get you started. So like you said, conventional loans typically offer 20%, sometimes 15%. It just depends on how much the house costs, how much you make, what your DTI already is. So an FHA would say, hey, it's your first time buying a house. You have a lower income. You might not have as much debt, whatever. We'll give you a house at 3% down, sometimes a little more depending, but you have to pay insurance on it.
I said that's how they get you is the mortgage insurance.
Good thing, it used to be really nice. You pay insurance until you hit 20%.
Yeah.
So really, you should be at a spot where you can pay 20% quickly, at least somewhat, before you're really looking to buy a house. If you have $3,000 and you don't have a plan to have more money to pay that off, you shouldn't really be buying a house right now. So it used to be like that. And then I believe it was only last year, it might have been 21, they said, hey, FHAs are going to keep the insurance on throughout the life of the loan. So if your interest rate is 6%, you're paying 6% of the house's value per year in a 12-month cycle. You are paying between 0.75 and 1.5% on insurance.
Yeah.
On the principal of the loan. So if I have a $100,000 loan and I have a 1% interest rate, I have to add an extra $1,000 a year on that loan per year for 20 years.
Right.
So an FHA is going to cost you $20,000 extra, not in interest, but just in insurance.
Right.
So would it kill you to have one? No, because you can get started and refinance, kick off the insurance, get a conventional loan, and lower your interest rate. But most people probably won't, and that's kind of just a mean trick. Something that used to be nice, they allowed to be corrupted. They set it up to be helpful, and someone said no.
Right. So then so if you went to Chase and got their 3.5, whatever it is, would that also have the mortgage insurance?
If it's a conventional loan, it can't have.
So it's literally, it's just them saying, hey, we'll just give you a low interest rate.
They're competing with the FHAs.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, and they'll give you an FHA too.
Right.
But they're saying, hey, we want to be helpful like FHAs used to be. I believe that they're. I might be wrong when I said they can't. They might have insurance up to 17%, is what they told me. We're going to keep insurance on until you hit 17%, but the FHAs
so
don't
just similar to what
anymore. So what an
FHA used to be.
Yes. But 17%, I mean, that's a few $1,000s less to pay off before your insurance is dropped. So. Are you Googling if conventionals can have insurance?
No, I was just looking at Chase's.
Oh.
So they're Chase, the Dre Maker. I said Dream Maker, but it's spelled weird. The Dream Maker mortgage is 3% down.
Yep.
Low down payment option, flexible credit guidelines, and income limit. Plus, receive $500 after completing an education course.
Yeah.
So, and then they just have the FHA. Oh, standard agency mortgage. It's a good option for people. So it's just a normal loan, but with 3% down.
Yeah.
Then the VA loan as well. Mm-hmm. There is also another one for rural housing out there, for like a low payment, but low down payment, which I think technically Ada is rural, according to I looked at a thing, whatever. But also, and here's an interesting thing if you guys don't know. This is actually really sweet, which I don't know. I can't even remember the name of it. But when I was looking last year to get a loan, even the bank told me like, hey, there is like a thing for first time, like a grant for first time home buyers that like is open in March of every year or something like that.
Yep.
March or May or something.
July 6th, they have one that opens up. It's a $15,000 grant for this.
15?
$15,000 grant. It's first come, first serve. The money runs out quick.
Or so that's the thing is that she said like you gotta apply as soon as it opens
They
up.
have it like in. I thought it was like April and July, but they might
Maybe that's what it is.
Anyway,
There's someone in the
yeah.
spring.
So July 6th that opens up.
What does it
if
call?
you
Do you
want
know?
to. I'll get you the name of it. It's a tab open on my computer, but I forget. So.
Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah. Wait.
And it's through a Cincinnati banking company that calls it the Greater Cincinnati area, and Northwest Ohio is in that area.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's definitely neat. Like I was doing last night. Look up so this is mainly for first time homeowners. I think a lot of these sites. Which, if you do buy a first home, it's easier to buy a second home probably because you can sell your home that you've been putting money into.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you have a stable place to stay until you buy
Right.
a second house.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I had a point. And I forget it. But I was gonna say something about how something. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, lots of good.
Oh,
grants.
I remember. So if you look up like what state you're in, so
Yeah.
for me, Ohio, just look up like Ohio first time home or first time homeowner, like, what's that word? Incentives? Is that the right? How do you say it? What's that word?
Incentive.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
or just like grants or whatever.
Yeah.
And like Ohio, like Ohio.gov has like a page of different like, oh, we'll give you like here's a grant or here's a this or here's a this. Like
Yeah.
there's like some tax things that you can look at, which you just have to poke around. I didn't have time last night to poke around very hard, but just different things. The biggest thing when you go to buy a house when you're young is your like credit history.
Yeah.
Is that would be like, oh, you got nothing. So if you have parents that are cool, they might put you. Because here's what they told me: my dad could put me as a authorized user on his credit card, which it wouldn't get me a credit card or anything, but that would then extend my credit at my.
I got a credit card.
So there you go. My credit history would then extend. What the bank told us would just be as long as pretty much his credit card is. So it wouldn't just be like, oh, I've only had it for a year. It'd be like, I've had it for 7. There's 7 years of credit history now.
Did you do that?
Not yet.
Okay. I don't think it's as long as he's had it. It's as long as you've been on it.
See,
But
that's what we asked,
weird.
and she was like, well, no, actually, it is as long as
Okay.
the.
My parents have had the same card for 18
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
years. It's a while, I think. And my credit history is like 7 years.
Yeah,
Realistically, mine is 3. It only added a few,
yeah.
but it wasn't like, it's a really weird duration of like, it just isn't
If
the
you
number that
get a
it,
phone call, you can
it's
take
okay.
it.
Spam. It's not like the duration that should have been. My mom's like,
Sure.
we've had this card for like a lot years longer,
It's just,
but you were too young to have a credit, and it's just like they give me 7 years.
which is still better
It's
than
great.
3 or
It's
whatever.
great. I have a good credit score now. I could apply for a house. I was able to get a car loan.
What was
with a
your-
pretty decent
Score before.
before?
Yeah.
I don't.
Like before.
I got as an authorized user when I was 16.
Oh, gotcha.
technically.
I thought you were saying that you got it.
And then when I
Recently.
started, it was a whole thing. So I got my own credit card, built my score up. It didn't help at what I wanted at first. Like I started at a 610
Yeah.
flat. I don't know why. Because like on a 900 just
Drew's parents have bad credit.
I have a
Confirmed.
my parents have a very good credit
Yeah.
score and I didn't, and that was weird. And then it boosted me up later when the history matched my own credit history. You know what I mean? Because the duration of your thing only helps if it's a good duration.
Yeah.
So when I added good credit, like make my payments, do whatever, X, Y, and Z, then
the
they added time
history
to
as
it,
well
and it
when-
bumped me up like 39 points.
Yeah.
But I had to build it up from a 610 up to a 730, and then it put me at a 750.
Yeah.
Kinda
Gaming
thing,
the whole
so-
credit system is a weird. It's so because like you have
terrible.
for it to count or for it to work, like you have to wait until your statement hits to pay it off. for that because it's saying you're making payments on a statement.
Yeah.
Because if you paid off early, they don't care. Oh, who cares?
Yeah.
So it's weird. Because for me, I'm like, oh man, I have $800 on my credit card.
Yeah.
I really want to pay that off, but my statement hasn't hit yet. So if I paid off now, then it's kind of like, well, you didn't make an $800 payment.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
So
It's ridiculous.
it's really weird. I have 2 credit cards. I have the Apple credit card and the Discover student card.
What would Dave Ramsey say?
He would say cut the plastic, but I don't care. Because you gotta game the credit system to do anything these days.
I think if you get a house, if you buy your cars, you pay off your debt, yeah, you can make your money move. If you owned a house and you can sell it for 150, put 70 more and buy super nice, sure. If you're buying your first house and you have 15 grand to put down, you can't not have a credit score.
Yeah.
And if you have a 610 because you only pay cash for everything, you're not getting anywhere.
And I think these days is I can't save up $150,000 in a couple years to buy a house. Like it's just not going to happen.
No.
And so even if I live on the strictest budget in the world,
haven't you seen those YouTubers that say if you make YouTube videos, you get a lot of money?
you're right. My bad.
Yeah,
Well, that's what this
you
is,
should
isn't it? And where's our money?
We haven't re-recorded a advertisement.
We'll do
in,
that
3
here in a
weeks.
second. So yeah, it's weird. The Apple, but the biggest thing if you want your credit to be cool is don't get your identity stolen. That's the best advice I can give you. Yeah, I have those 2, and my score is actually pretty good. Is it? It's not bad. It's like a 7. I think it's in the 20s.
Yeah.
720,
I was
730.
mad. I had a 751. They docked me down 2 because I didn't use my credit card.
Yeah.
And I go to get a car. I'm at a 749 instead of a 750.
Oh.
And they're like, that's not our great. It's in the good range.
Give me a break.
They knocked it down 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grow up. So they are stupid games you'll play.
Yeah.
And they probably gave me 2% higher on my interest just because I was in the good and not great. That's how dumb.
What is your interest on that car?
Under 7.
That's good.
But I don't. Yeah.
Mine's not.
What are you at? 16?
Mine's double that.
Are you 14?
Yep.
You got refinanced, bud.
Yeah, I got scammed.
Yeah.
But I got.
But honestly, though, if
Couple
you're going to
years
buy a
or
house,
whatever.
though, buy your house. Put it all in one. I mean,
Put all in one what?
one more. Put your car under your mortgage. Refinance your whole loan.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah.
You can refinance 2
So-
things
Yeah.
into one?
You can throw student loans, a mortgage, and a car payment into one loan. That's what refinancing is. And you'll get so my student loans are going to be at 9%.
Yeah.
My car is at 7. My house is at 3. I want a new house loan. I use what I've paid off. It might take a little bit, but what I've paid off towards my house will be my insurance on it. What do you call it when you give something as collateral? No,
Yeah.
is it?
What?
No.
When you pay off your hat.
If I default on my car loan, you can have my house. Is it collateral?
Maybe? Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It
it
is.
is collateral. Yeah.
So what I've put down, my 20 grand already,
Yeah.
between the 3 of those is my collateral for a new loan of 170,000 to include my car and my house, and I get a lower interest rate. So that's why FHA is tricky, because if you don't do that, they're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
If you refinance, you can do a lot of good things in life. So every couple years, every 7, depends on what the interest rates do. In 2020, our interest rates dropped a lot. My parents refinanced our house and our car at 2.2% instead of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And now interest rates on houses average 6.
Yeah.
So if you're at 2%, that locks in. You just stay there.
Right.
So when everyone else, you're paying 14%. If you get your house at 4, let's say you get your house at 6 right now.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years from now, our economy says, hey, we're flipping. We'll give you 4%. You put your car and your house at 4%.
Interesting.
So
I thought in 2 years.
definitely do that.
2 years, my car will be paid off.
Yeah. But
I only have a 3-year loan, so it's kind of like.
okay, that's probably why it's so high then.
Yeah.
If you do 5 or so, it'd be.
Yeah, because there was.
Yeah.
That's true. Because there was different. There's a couple different. There's two banks that gave me 2 different options.
My
each.
advice on that though, do a 5-year loan every time and just pay it down to 3.
I just wanted it gone.
I know.
Yeah, you're right.
But if you get that, 14%, you might have got 9. That's 5%.
I forget they were all pretty high because it was
Okay.
because they were like, oh, it doesn't have a very long
yeah,
history or whatever.
you're 20.
It's a pain.
I mean,
Well,
your work history.
It's annoying because I've only had my credit card,
Yeah.
my Discover card since like February of last year.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So yeah,
you
don't really have much credit to base it on. No co-signers or anything.
yeah.
14's not that bad for what you did. I would always recommend on your house, probably do a 30-year, even if you want it done in 20.
I'm
Get a 30.
30 year and we'll go for it. Because I'm not going to be able to afford a cheap. Like,
Yeah.
I'd already be like, not stretching, but I'd be like, definitely where I want to be, right, for a 30 year, like
Yeah.
$1,200 a month, let's say, if it's a $150,000 house. You think it's less or more?
Less.
What are you thinking, bro?
960. Yeah. I mean, okay, throw in insurance. I think.
But though, I guess altogether though too, throw in
with insurance
tax
and
and
taxes.
all those different things.
Yeah, 150. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think 100 is like 750. So
Yeah, my dad.
80s.
I
probably
won't say,
something,
but he bought the house for like in that range, and it's not that much. It's a lot cheaper than mine.
Yeah. You know what's terrible though?
Yeah.
Hardin County's property tax is double Allen County's.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like 1.1%. Here it's 2% in Hardin County
Why?
because they're dumb.
Why? Who has money in Hardin County
Yeah,
to put on
like-
2%?
I'm like, wait, why do you have 2% of like,
Yeah.
cornfields?
That sucks.
So, in Allen County, I mean, your houses are worth $85,000, and you do 1% of that.
Right.
And I don't know. Hancock County's 1.2, Allen County's 1.1, Hardin County's 2.
That's dumb.
It adds up too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's $2,000 instead of $1,100 for you.
Right.
That's $3 instead of, yeah. So, oh well. $3,000 a year in property tax, Wes. How about that?
$3,000 a year.
If your house is 150 grand.
That sucks. That sucks. Wait.
Probably just bored every single person.
Here's a question though. So my property tax is
Yeah.
2%
Yeah.
of what?
The house's value.
So
What
if my
you
house's
purchased
value
it at.
goes up,
What you purchased it at.
okay.
So that's
And
why
that's
in
just-
California. So actually, technically, they might do appraisals themselves, depending.
Yeah.
If they have whatever. In California, they made a little direct democracy bill, and they said, we're not going to raise property tax by itself. It's only when you buy a house.
Yeah.
new. If a house is gifted, you don't raise your property taxes. So, if you bought a house for $100,000 in 1920 and it's worth $10 million today, it's
Yeah.
only been gifted by 6 people. Guess what? You're still paying 2% of $100,000
Right.
because your house is only worth $100,000 at $10 million.
Right.
And it's how they get away with a lot. Every time they sell houses, they gift them.
Mm-hmm.
But then they raise their property taxes so high that to make up for that, they're like, well, we have to have of your house that's $200,000, that's $10 million. We need, 3%, whatever,
Right.
4%, because they're trying to make up a reasonable number. It has become a big problem.
In California?
California. So, that's why businesses, it's so expensive to go out there. You want to start a business, you have to buy that. They don't typically gift like commercial warehouses. You can do that with houses a little bit. You can't do that with like commercial warehouses.
Yeah.
All your property taxes are whatever. I've never
Right.
looked them up, but
Yes, I'm not. Yeah.
in class I was told they were a lot higher, and but it's an issue with their public schools. They have a lot of private schools there, especially in the cities and stuff. But like their public schools are some of the lowest funded schools in the nation relative to how much money they make
Right.
because no one pays property taxes.
Right.
So, that's a direct democracy. There's only like 2 states that do it, Ohio and California. It says if you get 66% of citizens to vote on a bill, and you have to have at least, it's really complicated. It's like you have to have at least 10,000 people from each county and 66% of the state to vote on a bill. Congress, legislators, governor, no one can veto it. It has to pass. California set that property tax bill, got everyone to agree they're not paying taxes, and then the government can't change it. So it's been there forever, and they can't do anything about it.
Right.
People either know about it and really appreciate it, or don't know about it and won't change it. So
Right.
tough.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, buying a house is whack. That's something we talked about is debt to income ratio. That's when you're going to buy like a house, or what I guess altogether.
car.
What they say is that you don't want to have your debt to income ratio should be no more than 40%. That's what I've heard.
Well-
So like with car, with house, with everything, like a house, they're saying should be no more than your like monthly payment versus your monthly income should not be more than like 40%.
How's that measured?
Right. So
I'm
that
not making
Kaylee and I were talking about in the car last night. But it measures. I think comes down to what I make in a month versus, or however, even if I made like, for whatever reason, if it was a while and I made every 2 months I made payments, whatever, on everything. So if for some reason that was a thing, it'd be every 2 months then.
Yeah.
But my monthly income, let's say, is $5,000, and my house is $1,000 a month. My car is $2,000. My student loans are not $2,000. Is $200 a month, and then my car is my student loans are $300 a month. You know, as long as that doesn't go above 40%,
Right.
they'll be more lenient to give you a loan.
Yeah. The issue too, though, just so you know, they will. It depends on the economy, but in
Yeah.
a lot of cases, they will oversell that because they don't lose much. If you can maintain it for a while,
Yeah.
they don't lose much.
Yeah.
Even if you foreclose on the house and they lose 30 grand, you probably already paid that.
Right.
So, they definitely oversell you. They'll probably put you, depending, not necessarily
Right.
you as someone who's newer in the credit, but if you have 10 years of credit history and you've done well, they'll put you at 60 if you want it because you've had 10 years of making payments well. So,
Right.
they consider it a lot more when you're younger, but
Right. And it's not honestly a bad thing.
No.
Right.
No.
Because it's
it's only trying to help you.
I was saying it's
There's
good
way
that
you
I-
can maintain 65%.
right.
What are you gonna eat? How are you
Right.
paying for gas?
Right.
I mean, your budget in total should be 85% of what you spend, what you make should be
Yeah.
spent. You should be saving 15 if you can.
Right.
I don't do great with that,
Me neither.
but
Yeah.
But then I can look at that 15% isn't budgeted. Where's it going? Well, I went to these.
Right.
I mean, is it a big deal? No. But is that an extra part of my budget that I don't need to spend? 15% is going to go to golf every week that we do.
Right. Right.
Right. Buying these, just doing dumb things I don't need.
Right.
Bachelor parties like
Yeah.
tonight. Like,
He doesn't need dumb
We're
bachelor
buying-
parties.
I just went shooting last week. There's so many
Yeah.
things that I do that I don't budget for. That
Because they're not
has to be covered.
necessities,
They
but
could
they're
either
things you
be
just want to do.
saved
Yeah.
or spent in that 15%. So, and I would say for me, like I'm not budgeting 85% of what I make right now.
Right.
I don't have a lot of expenses.
I'm not really budgeting anything.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because it's just I know like I like know like what I make and what what my monthly like expenses are. So like my rent, my utility bills, my internet, things like that. Like I know what I'm spending, and so like keep an eye on my bank account. Like I know that okay, I probably shouldn't go and do this thing because my car payment's coming out in a couple weeks, and like that's gonna shoot me down or things like that. But I'm not which I should, but I'm not sitting down and going that this much is going to groceries, this much is going to this. I have $20 for entertainment. This like that's a smart thing to do, but I'm not in a position where I need to do that right now.
Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, man, I want a budget, and then I wouldn't listen to it. I'd sit there and like feel good about myself
no,
and
you
be
didn't.
like,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna spend this, this, and this, and then I'll have this much money to save, and then when I'm gonna go to, golf.
Yeah.
Am I going to say, no, I can't get a Pepsi, I can't afford that, and I
Right.
can only golf once this month
Right.
because that's what I budget? No. I'm
Right.
just going to be like, hey, okay, I have $100 in my bank account, I can spend 20. Cool. Move
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Which now, like when it used to be a lot worse when I was like working at beer bar, so I'm not making very much money. But now I'm a pretty comfortable like
Yeah.
not something crazy, but let's say it's probably around. I usually don't go under $2,000 in my bank account.
Yeah.
Like and that's just like everything comes out of my like right now. Kate and I are sharing a bank account because we haven't done it yet, which I'm going to next week probably. We just haven't done it because we're just lazy.
He's fake married.
Well, my
Let me
bank
guess.
went through like a conversion, so let's just wait till after that, and now it's
Let me
after
guess,
that. So
you signed a prenup.
oh, I did not. So everything's coming out of my bank account, right now, currently. And all of our expenses, all of our things, and Kaylee works too, so all of her money's going to her bank account, and she usually will buy the groceries, right? But everything else coming out. So I'm pretty comfortable to sit. Like, I'm not usually going. Like, right now I am. But because we've taken a big trip. We were buying a couch today. We bought a TV stand last week. Like,
Where are you going? Are you going to the one place?
No, we took one. Where are we going to buy a couch? Westrix and...
Delphus?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, we went to Ashley's last week and we found something we like, but we saw it for like $200 cheaper at Westrix. So.
Yeah. Couches are so expensive.
Dude,
you're like, I should
honestly,
be able to get a nice couch for $500.
No, they are cheap. You're crazy because they are actually mad cheap.
How much?
Like, if you go to Big Lots,
yeah,
there's some really comfortable, nice quality couches for like $500 to $600.
Okay.
In Westrix, one we're trying to buy right now, I think it was like $300 to $400. Dude, can I tell you one piece of advice? If you're buying a couch, don't go to IKEA. They have the worst, lowest quality couches for very much money. Now, do I know? Now, I'm taking a chance, right?
Yeah.
Spending that low of money. Do I know if this couch is going to hold up for 5 years?
Like the
I have no
fake
idea.
Leather stuff like that?
No, it's not. It's not leather. It's like a cloth couch, like yours.
Okay. You know what I like? I
It's
guess I'm
comfortable,
saying
dude.
couches are expensive, but also I haven't bought a couch. I have like free.
Well, you bought 2 couches.
No, those are both free.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think
the one with the little foot thingy.
yeah.
It came from a friend. I did buy it for like
The
$150.
chase, chassis chase, something like that. It's called.
I don't know.
Are you talking about the thing that sticks out?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone
But
starts
like
to
you
see.
can move it to either side. It's crazy.
You can move to either side.
Yeah.
Dude.
We
that's so
switched it when
nice.
we moved apartments.
Did we?
It was on the right side, and then the other apartment is on the left.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, that's crazy. What the heck? No, it's definitely cheaper than you think, but also I'm not buying the like crazy nice leather like.
I'm thinking this couch would be broken in a week.
Dude, it's possible. But it's worth a chance. It's a nice couch. It's comfortable. We sat on it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna. Oh, what the heck? Let's try it.
If you don't get leather or fake whatever, it's a lot nicer too. Like cloth couches are cheaper
And I feel like
because
they're
you
more
can get like
comfortable sometimes.
the only issue is like we have dogs and the cloth
Yeah.
couches are really annoying for those. If
Brenda's
you don't
gonna
have
destroy it, but it's
yeah,
all right.
bye cat.
We're gonna get her scratching post.
Yeah, she'll use it. I'm sure. Not the couch.
Shut up. She didn't do too much. She
No,
didn't go
she
too
really-
like
I mean,
a
there's
little bit on
cats
your
that are
couch, but wasn't
bad.
insane.
I don't notice it now. It really wasn't bad. So
Look at that, Brenda.
she likes the doors though.
She
She likes the carpet directly under the door.
seriously, dude.
Do you remember your room's door? Like just a big ball.
It was literally terrible. She's the
We're not
worst.
getting
She's the
deposit.
best.
We did, so.
What?
It's like we're not getting a deposit back,
Dude,
but we did.
That's did we?
I'm shocked. We did.
Did I get?
We
I
did,
don't know if
yeah.
I ever got
They
that
mailed
money.
it to you. Or I Venmoed it to you.
I got it for the first place, I think.
Yeah, the first one.
What about the second one though?
The lease doesn't end until tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it's still another month
It actually-
on it. It's till August.
Okay, so in August we get a
That's.
check.
I forgot that the lease is still going right now. I haven't lived there in so long. It's been over 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months right now. I moved out.
That's
6 months
insane, isn't
today.
it?
Wow. It feels like I lived in that second apartment longer than I've lived here, though, and it's been 2 months longer.
Really?
No, not really. 'Cause
It
if
just-
you told me we lived there for 3 weeks, I believe you.
Dude, because we did. And all actually, how long did we spend the night there? And actually, we're there. Yeah, 3 weeks out of the
I
6
guarantee
months.
in 4 months we
4
spent
months.
30 nights there, if not less.
It's insane. That thing was wild, dude. That was the weirdest. If you ever live in BG, don't rent from Greenbrier.
Oh boy.
I shouldn't say that. In case
Sponsor
they wanna-
us.
in case they want to sponsor, but dude, they're just cheap to sponsor.
Yeah. They monopolized all of Bowling Green.
For real,
Apartments.
dude, they'll rent
And-
anything
Yeah,
to
yeah.
you.
And then like we're voted #1 leaser, I
Like,
guess, in
yeah.
Bowling Green in 2021. We're the only people you can vote for, but
Dude, they are terrible.
who votes on that? You know,
Seriously,
who was that?
it's
Did
just
they
the
get themselves
employees.
a plaque and hang it up on the wall, and they just never took it down.
Just the employees at Greenbrier
Yeah.
voting.
like we'll give you 50. You know,
$50 off your rent if you
like so when I worked at Subway, like if we posted on our Instagram like something good about Subway, or if we like took the survey and like gave them 5 stars and wrote a long review about like how good Subway was, then they would give us like $1 off our meal.
Yo,
I'm like, I'm not making an Instagram post for $1 off my sub.
dude, you've never been desperate. Sometimes $1's all you need.
I was probably pretty desperate, but
That's the weirdest
I
thing
don't know.
you
Like
worked at Subway.
Greenbrier probably did the same thing. Hey, we'll give you $20 if
Off
you
your
vote us
rent,
the
yeah.
best and whatever. I hate Greenbrier.
Yeah. What I would be really awesome is to build a house. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
But
So much money. You want to buy like 0.8 acres of land right now down the road from you?
yeah.
$58,000.
Dude,
I'm not joking.
no, depending on where you are, an acre
depends.
isn't
It's weird.
It's not
weird.
great, but it's not
But
terrible. You could like
right
an
here,
acre or two for 30 to 40, 30
that
to
road,
60. Yeah.
The diagonal one. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Less than an acre, most of them are like $50,000+. By that school over there, you know what I'm talking about? The blue one. That way.
Over there.
Nope. The light blue one. Blue and yellow. Wildcats.
Oh, yeah. It's not the red?
Huh? No.
I
That'd
don't know
be
school.
that.
I have no.
Yeah.
No, whoa. Which school are you talking
There's 3 red schools around here. There's
Wait,
2
wait.
blue ones. Oh, well.
Anyways.
Anyway, so, that one. There's a blue school that
Dude,
way.
it doesn't.
blue
It's
school
Bath
that way.
over there and Bluffton over there. I don't care.
Oh, and then Perry's that way is what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
Perry's over there. Yeah.
Anyway, anything by Bath, so expensive.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think location is big on that. And then building the house itself is like 200, 300, 400, 500,000, depending on the size. It's such a big range, dude. It's
And if
insane.
you're Dan, you need $240,000
Well,
to buy a $300,000.
Of course.
Sorry, Dan.
Sorry, brother. We know you're not listening. Oh, this is a shout out to Eli. I'm sorry that I messed up the Arthur song. I apologize. But
I'm not sorry. I didn't sing.
to be completely honest with you, you're wrong. I'm pretty sure I sang it right. So we'll move on. But you can listen to this one and figure that one out for you. Okay. And there's also a shout out to Bree. Bree, thanks for being the first listener always. Nate, you're not. It's just what it is. I hear we got actually a message from one of our most valued viewers saying that we slander his name too much. So that being said, Nate, put down your phone and get back to work, bro. There's some egg prices you need to figure out over there, okay? Thanks.
Yeah, I read a report on that. Tell us how long something's been discounted for too long. This should have been discounted for 3 months, and it was not. I can't believe it.
Hey, that's his job.
The eggs were 43 cents cheaper.
Dude, it's his job. It's his job. It's his job. You can't hate the man for doing his job, I guess. Yeah, I'm running low. I think
Oh boy. Yeah, we're probably over time.
we're
I
over
don't know.
40. I think we're around 40. So
Are we?
yeah.
Well, that's how you buy a house.
Yep. So that's music explained
we
to you
didn't-
in a nutshell.
Briefly,
Yes.
we'll touch on a couple more things. We talked about the loan.
Yeah.
Closing costs are huge.
Yeah.
That can be 4 to 5%
Yeah.
of your payment. So if you have 5 down, you need 5 more for closing costs.
Although
Which is ridiculous.
Are
Some
there-
of it you do yourself, or like have like you need to inspect the house. That's $800 average. If you have like your cousin who does construction, he can do it for you.
yeah.
It's only your loss. There's no legal thing to say you have
Mm-hmm.
to. There's something else that's weird. You can, I wouldn't want to say do yourself, but you can get around another $800 if you know someone who's like, there's a couple
Yeah.
weird things in there that are like fees
Mm-hmm.
that they'll help you pay for. Like, say, hey, here's a guy who can inspect your house if you need it. You can say no.
Mm-hmm.
That's $1,600. But some of it is just the bank itself doesn't want to do paperwork. So
And how much is the realtor? Is that part of
it
it?
depends.
Because if you buy like
the-
direct from seller, is there?
You
Is
don't
the
pay the
cost
realtor,
down?
though.
Yeah.
The seller does.
Right.
So the realtors might say, I'm taking 8% of your house.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pay them 158 goes to realtor,
Right.
or 12. Yeah, so closing costs are big and they're annoying. A lot of them are stupid. They just say like inconvenience fee, $1,600.
Right,
and, like,
right.
we had to do a job fee, $400 more, and
Beauty contest, $125.
just-
Yeah.
really dumb things. So closing costs for me, if I'm looking at a house for 3% down at 120, I would need 8,000 saved up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not 3% of 120. it just covers some closing costs and stuff. So that's it. The other thing, get your inspections done though. You don't want to like
Yeah, I don't
figure out your foundation's cracked and you can't live in the house. And
Right.
So many bad things can go wrong. So that's about it.
Yep.
Remember to refinance seriously
Get a good credit score. Even if you like don't want to use a credit card, which I get. It's not bad to like get a credit card and have
Car
it pay like
payments are
one bill
good.
a month or something too.
Sure.
So like my $50 internet bill, I always go to my credit card. Let's say and I pay it every month, and then I pay the next month I pay my statement and so on and so
And
forth.
it's not much, but it adds up. If you throw on necessities on a credit card and pay it off, make sure you're good with deadlines. If you're not, it'll
Yeah.
screw you over really bad.
And
But
turn
for
on
me, like 1.5% cash back on everything.
Yeah.
When I buy gas always goes to my credit card
right,
because I'm going to spend $200 this month on gas.
right.
Yeah, I'm going to get. I mean,
And some
$3
like my
back.
credit card
That's not
offers
much.
5% back on gas during this quarter.
Sure.
So it's
So
up
if you
to
get between
summer.
$3 and $10 a month in gas in 3 months, I mean it's something.
Yeah.
So you build your credit score and you get not a lot, but you want to buy a TV, you want
Right.
to buy a new PlayStation 5, put it on a credit card, pay it off quickly, get your 1.5% back on $500 is nice.
The biggest thing if you use a credit card, don't let it go to like what's the word? Don't let it get past the due date, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Like don't let it interest start occurring on it.
yeah.
Is the biggest thing.
That's big because you might if you buy an Xbox, you wait a month and you pay it off, you earn $7.
Right.
Good job. But if you miss your payment and you let it go for an extra month,
Right.
you just paid 10 to
Right. Which is
15
why
to
a lot of
10%.
I mean anyone major nowadays would have auto pay.
Yeah.
So if you could set it up like as a fail safe that, if I don't like I think my credit card, my Discover card is that like 5 days before it's due, it will take out of my debit card.
Mine will,
Which
mine
I usually
take out
will.
of my
I'll
account.
get it before because I check my
Yeah.
apps and stuff. But
Yeah.
so it's like I'm just like just in case I forget to, or
Mm-hmm.
I have three different financial cards I use. You know what I mean? Like it can get complicated, so I have it just in case. The reason I got my Apple credit card was the Apple savings account,
Yeah.
which it's like a high yield savings account, which offers 4%, 4 point something% back annually on whatever I have in there. So I was like, well, I want that. And the only way to get it is get an Apple card. So I got the Apple card for that. So if you want a high yield savings account, I think it's pretty cool.
If you want to actually earn money, get a state job and get their ridiculous they'll my job will whatever I put into my 401k they'll match and add 14%. That's insane.
Yeah, that's good. State jobs, honestly, is the way to go.
Good
Good
benefits. My insurance is cheap.
Yep. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate you. We'll catch you next time.